Alrighty. Live here. Let me get the camera situated. Alrighty. Just gotta. Oh, yeah. Oh, trash right there. Anyway. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 3 of Damaged Incorporated and Friends. This one it's a 2-for-1 special. 2 topics, 1 video. And obviously, if I can get freaking banners, as you can see, there is the title right there. It's a 2-for-1, which it says the title of it is my most meaningful albums in my collection / best to worst concept albums list. Yes, it's a 2-for-1 tonight, whatever. I was inspired to do these. The meaningful one was I was inspired to wanting to do this from watching a video of Wyatt XM, and he had the same title. And then the other one was one that I had thought about wanting to do for a while. Apologies for looking like a complete piece of shit. But the other one was I saw a female YouTuber, and she loved concept albums. So I figured, you know what, why not do one? But we're going to start off with my most meaningful albums in my collection, and I've got at least, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 15 albums. And I'm going to go with them, with the ones that have the least amount. We're going to go from the cassettes to the records, then end it with the CDs. For that, be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. But, yes. Ah! Okay, yeah, sure. Well, no, I'll come enjoy that. Anyway, apologies for that. I had to go take care of things. Apparently, she wanted me to do that when I just started. Anyway, so obviously, I was saying we're gonna do the meaningful albums first. Then we'll get into the kind of a listing of where they are. You know, usually they would be albums that I own, obviously. So we're gonna determine which are the best, the middle of the road, and then the worst. There are some that are in the obvious of the best, and then there's those in the middle. Yeah. But let's get into my most meaningful albums of my collection. We just started with the cassettes, then move to records, and then CDs. So let's start with the cassettes. I only got two. Okay, back again. Where are we? All right, cassettes first. Only two, and they were both my dad's, and these ones were very meaningful when I was a kid. So, first one, Kiss, Psycho Circus, their 1998 album, the reunion album. You know, had a most, but you know, as a kid at the time, you know, as a kid at the time, um, at the very least, if I was a kid, you know, it's like, hey, it's the original lineup. At the very least, it's Ace, Paul, Gene, and Peter. At the very least. Finding out later as I got older that it's not the original, and they only did one song together. I think it was Into the Void, I believe. As a whole. But remember listening to this, my dad was playing it when I was just a kid, and I got hooked on Kiss because of him. Not my stepdad. You know, that was a little bit later on when I got a little bit older, but at the very least, when you think about it, I got into them with the original lineup. At the very least. Anyway, covered back by cassettes, all kind of a clear black. And all that. And I'll show the booklet here real quick. Kind of a cool little layout. Yeah. It is Kiss Psycho Circus. The next one is kind of also another 90s album. I think it might have been a year before. It might have been a year after. Yeah, year after Psycho Circus. And not metal oriented, but again, another one I grew up listening to as a kid. Collective Soul, Dosage. Love the track, No More No Less on here. Fantastic. Kind of that, I guess, alt rock. Not quite metal, it's more alt rock. And this was, I believe, the last one with the original lineup at the time. They were all on the first four albums. And I have all four of them. I have the Hidden Allegations, Things Left Unsaid, the self-titled, and then Disciplined Breakdown. But this was the last one with the original lineup. And love that song, No More No Less. Great song. And yeah, grew up listening to them as well, like Kiss as a kid. You know, like kind of in my 10s or something like that. But yeah, here's the cassette. And then here's the inserts with the band. Like I said, the last one with the original lineup. Where I think some of the members end up leaving after this album. But yeah, that's all the cassettes. These two. Now we move on to the vinyl now. Vinyl now. This one was originally got it as a CD around 2015, same as the other one. The other one was, I think, in Illinois and got it. And, it wasn't until later as I was working there that I started to love it even more, working at the Dollar General here in town. But yeah. Opeth, Blackwater Park. Obviously, like I said, I got this when I was up in Illinois, and it really didn't click with me until I was listening to it on my iPad at work, and really, 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 really love this album to the death nowadays. It's been around for over 20 years now, so it's 20 years old. Happy birthday, Blackwater Park. But back then, when they made this, I wasn't into them. It was much more later on that I started to love this album a lot, and listen to it all the way and think that it is flawless all the way through. But yeah, here's the front and the back side with the track listings. It's a gatefold type album. Comes on, obviously, has lyrics, and I think this one has a backstory or something about the album. But all of them come on plain black. Both of them come on plain black vinyl. So yeah, that is Opeth, Blackwater Park. Next one, I praised the hell out of this one. This one came when I got into Opeth, Blackwater Park, and you probably know what it is. Iron Maiden, The Book of Souls. I was kind of getting into them a little bit, but I wasn't really, all that pumped for it. And then listening to the whole album, listening to Speed of Light, I didn't really care for. But as I started listening to the album, the song Speed of Light kind of started to grow on me a little bit. But as we got closer to the release, it kind of leaked at some point, and I started enjoying the hell out of this when it was being leaked. Guy was doing, I think, guitar covers at the time. But and ever since then, I absolutely love this album and think it's absolutely fucking perfect. It is easily, to me, a meaningful album. Opeth is a meaningful album to me when it comes to my harsh vocals and stuff like that. That I forgot to mention that. But yeah, this is a perfect album, a 10 out of 10 album. It's easily, to me, the best Iron Maiden album I ever listened to. And if it didn't exist, Seventh Son of a Seventh Son would be the number one, obviously. But obviously, here's the front, backside with the track listings. It's on a triple gatefold album, and it comes on plain, I believe on plain black, but the inner sleeve are like these with the lyrics and shaded at the proof, plain black. But the middle's pretty cool though. I like that. That's the Book of Souls from Iron Maiden. Book of Souls from Iron Maiden. That makes it 4 already. And okay, if I put these back in here, there we go. Iron Maiden there, and then Opeth right here. Next one is Rush 2112. This was a Christmas present. It didn't hold any significance to me because I do like 2112 and think it's awesome, but it had more meaning to it with the passing of Neil Peart. Rest in peace, Neil Peart. And then this took on a significant role for me, and then another one's I'll get to later. But this nowadays holds a lot of meaning to me now. This was, I think, a 2019 Christmas present, and it, like I said, didn't really matter to me until Neil Peart's passing. So, yeah. Here's the front side. Backside with the track listing and a picture of the band with Alex, Neil, and Getty. It's all on gatefold. Gatefold lyrics and more pictures of the band. Comes on plain black, which is a clear picture sleeve. So yeah, Rush 2112. A fantastic album and a meaningful album in my collection now. Next one we have is another 1976 album, Boston's self-titled debut. Cool story. I was at first when I was kind of getting a little bit into records and stuff, and was kind of always fascinated by it. And I noticed when I think it was a recent trip with to see my family up in Illinois, I think around 2018, that I noticed Dad had a lot of records, and we started to play some of them, and he played, and I said, play this one. I want to hear this one. Just heard the side one of it, and I was completely blown away by how it sounded. Like, holy shit, it sounds fantastic. And I think the year after or something, I ended up getting this because this is an album that's has significance because this is the first ever vinyl I ever listened to, and it holds a lot of meaning because of that. But here's the artwork, backside with track listings and some notes and a picture of the band at the time, and it obviously comes on plain black. As I try to get this situated, yes, Boston, self-titled debut. And then the final record in my collection that is meaningful to me, Living Colour, Vivid. Saw this at a record store at the time, and it was just a blind buy. I'm like, holy fucking shit. Freaking Living Colour? What? I freaked out over that. That was, I think, recently when I think he was either one of the more recent trips to Illinois, but oh yeah, it was the most recent trip to Illinois. I think July or something like that. But yeah, it took on more significance when in wrestling for AEW, CM Punk made his return, and it's kind of a coincidence, kind of like the Rush thing. Something significant happens for this to be a meaningful album. But yeah, for the cover, packaging, artwork, backside with track listing, a picture of the band. Comes on plain black, but has some lyrics on it, and I think some credits on the back with another picture of the band on there. But I believe that does it for all the records on here with Living Colours, Vivid. This back. And now we move on to these CDs, and I didn't want to show the front these first two because I want to get them out of the way because they were more meaningful to me on CD than they are on records. I got them later on. But the first two here on the stack are they're obviously Metallica albums, Black Album, and Master of Puppets. Black Album was my introduction to the band. I think around when I was like a kid or early teenager and stuff. Saint Anger was the first album I got. And, for a little bit at that point, with this, I always thought that, obviously it's what got me into heavy metal. I think when I was like a little kid or something like that. And for a while, I always thought they were a 90s band. This was the debut because usually when you think self-titled, usually you instantly think debut album most of the time, But it wasn't until I think my mom and stepdad went on, I think, a little vacation. I think she ended up asking me if I want to give me a Metallica album or something like that. I think it was going to be Black Album because I don't know if I owned it at the time. But she ended up getting me this. And it wasn't this version. These are the blackened versions. But she ended up getting me this one. And I'm like, wait, what? This isn't from the 90s? Which one? Where did this? It was from 1986. I'm like, wait a minute. And from then on, I found out, okay, Metallica made stuff prior to the Black Album, obviously. And obviously, I think this is easily the best Metallica album of all time. Absolutely perfect. Perfect from start to finish. And before anything, to me, it is perfect. To me. Not to anybody else, not Mike. You can't say that to me. You can't say Justice is perfect. To me, it is. To you, it might be, but to me, no. This is perfect from start to finish. To finish, from Battery, that's her title track, Getting Knocked Should I Be, all the way to the namesake of the channel, Damage Incorporated. But yeah, this is a perfect album to me, and I absolutely love them. But I love these two. These were my introduction to Metallica. So yeah. Been here. This in there. Go. Oh. Next one, a melodic death metal. James LaBrie, Impermanent Residence. I was able to find this at the last minute before the show started, and I absolutely love this as a melodic death metal, melodic metal, whatever. And, you know, I was going through a tough time mentally and stuff like that around 2013. It was a terrible year for me. But there was some great stuff. And this one was, you know, I've listened to this quite a lot throughout the years and absolutely love it. Love it. But, yeah, this got me through quite a lot going through that whole year of 2013, kind of early 2014, stuff like that. But this helped me quite a lot listening to this and starting to absolutely love it. Love it. Yeah. But no discount it. This is the layout and packaging. It has booklets and stuff like that. But yeah. James LaBrie, Impermanent Resonance. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Next one, we're getting into two that are kind of in the prog sense. Start off with the first Dream Theater album I ever got. A dramatic turn of events. It's kind of ripped apart and stuff like that. But, you know, I still have it intact. It even has the DVD when they were doing auditions to find a new drummer after, you know, the stuff with Portnoy. This is the first one without Portnoy. I don't really count it as the first one with Mangini because it still kind of sounds like what they had done before, and I absolutely think it's perfect. They hadn't done up until recently with A View from the Top of the World. They hadn't done something of this style in almost 10 years, which is absurd because they did make some turds in between this and A View from the Top of the World recently. But yeah, I absolutely love this, and you know, it got me. I obviously had listened to Black Clouds and Silver Linings before this, but was kind of intrigued by this one and got it, and I love it to this very day. But the next album we're gonna get into, if it wasn't for this one album, and I know they kind of aren't considered prog in a sense, but if it wasn't for this album, you know, I wouldn't be listening to progressive metal, to proggy stuff, and that is Octahedron's, or the Mars Volta's 2009 album, Octahedron. And listening to, I guess, the first three songs, and absolutely love them. It is because of this. I don't necessarily care for the Mars Volta that often, but if it wasn't for this album, I wouldn't. Good to know, Mike. But if it wasn't for this album, I wouldn't be listening to the proggy stuff, because around this time I was trying to figure out what I was gonna like, what I was gonna go into more. Was it gonna go into the metal route? Was it going into the thrash metal route, or was it going to go into the progressive or the melodic metal route? And this helped me quite a bit in getting into that style of, the more melodic and more progressive stuff. Even power metal, I would consider it's in that same territory. But yeah, if it wasn't for this album right here, I wouldn't be listening to a lot of prog bands like, say, Dream Theater or Arion or Coheed and Cambria or LTE or any of those bands, because a good chunk of my collection is really a lot of progressive stuff, progressive and melodic metal stuff, So I owe this a lot, and it means a lot to now finally have it once again in my collection, and it's a lot. It has a lot of meaning behind this. So yeah, Mars Volta, Octahedron. Next one, I got Explosions in the Sky. The Earth is not a cold, dead place. This was, I believe, released in, I don't know, I forgot what year it was released. But I got into this band through, I think, and I mentioned Wyatt, and I got into this band because of him, and he had a series on YouTube called Post Rock from the Postman. And he talked about this band. I think he mentioned this one on there. And come to find out they're from Austin, and we're like, holy shit, they're from Austin, Texas. Nice. Might as well check them out. And put it in. And obviously it's usually prog-y stuff, which is already at that point I already love. But yeah, this is the first prog rock, post-rock album I ever got. There's that, the back one with the CD. Track listing on there is all in red. Red with just the Earth is not a cold, dead place repeated in black and all that stuff. But yeah, first post-rock album I ever owned. Alrighty, next up in my we're coming nearing to the end of this topic. The next one on my list is from 2011. Children of Bodom, Relentless, Reckless, Forever. And I'm glad I ended up getting this because this was the first Children of Bodom album I ever got. I was kind of into them at that point around 2009, hearing Living Deadbeat from Are You Dead Yet, which is another album I need to get at some point. But this was the first one, and I absolutely love it. I know a lot of Children of Bodom fans don't care about stuff after, well, it would have been Hate Crew, Death Roll, but I liked this. This was really, really good, and I actually enjoy it, and still enjoy it to this day. But I absolutely love it. Love it, and it has more meaning now with Alexi's passing. And yeah, love the hell out of this. There's the artwork on the front, backside with the track listings and some other stuff, a DVD, booklet. I believe the CD is, well, I got the DVD in here, but I think the CD is in one of my CD cases. But yeah, Children of Bodom, Relentless, Reckless, whatever. And we come to the final one, and this is going to be kind of funny, but I cherish this one quite a lot. It is a Van Halen album. It was the first one I ever got, and that is 5150. The first one with Sammy. I think at the time I was starting to get into Sammy's stuff, and I had said, give me something with Sammy on it, or give me a Sammy album and stuff. And I think he ended up giving me this one, and this is the same one I ended up getting when he gave it to me. I still have this one, and like, this isn't a Sammy album, but he's like, yeah, but Sammy is on it. And I looked at the back, I'm like, oh yeah, he is. I was like, oh yeah, he is on here. But this is a Van Halen album, the first one with Sammy on vocals, and I'll say this, I'm more Team Sammy than Team Roth. Outside of maybe, say, the first three, maybe 1984, I really don't care about it. Don't bring up Fair Warner, Diver Down. I don't care about those. But yeah. 5150 was the first one. First Van Halen album, first Sammy album I ever owned. And ever since then, I even eventually got, OU812, and I have those. I have those on standby, and yeah. But yeah, this is the final album that I would show in an albums that have meaningful to me. But yeah, we move on to the next topic. The best to worst concept albums list. Now, as y'all might know, I am a sucker for concept albums. Love them because I love it more than it. I like some albums that are great, Book of Souls, I love it. But I'm a sucker for concept albums because, sometimes they'll tell a story, sometimes it's based around the theme and all that stuff. And I wanted to do this was an original topic that I had thought about wanting to do. And it sparked more interest to include it in this one. Because of one of the YouTuber who also likes female YouTuber, I think named JJ or something like that. That she loves concept albums. She loves concept albums as well. So I want to try and do, put certain albums into groups. I want to limit it to 5 in each, 5 of the best for now, and maybe, interact or something like that. There's the best, there is the middle of the road albums, and then there's the worst. And then there is a category of albums that I haven't fully listened to, but they're probably on that list. There's quite a bit on there there's quite a bit. So I'm going to go through some of the albums that I have in my collection that I know and a lot, that I love a lot. And there is obviously, and I'm going to pull out this band's whole entire, basically the majority of their discography here shortly. I finally got it on here. And that is Coheed and Cambria. This is easily one of the best ones because they have the Amory. Most of their albums, with the exception of one, are all within this universe called the Amory Wars. And it consists of the following albums. The Second Stage, Turbine Blade, In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3, Good Apollo, I'm Burning Star 4, Part 1, From Fear Through the Eyes of Madness, Good Apollo, I'm Burning Star 4, Part 2, No World for Tomorrow, this was just the jacket sleeve, Year of the Black Rainbow from 2010. The Afterman, Ascension, and Descension. And then finally, their most recent album, Vaxis Act 1, The Unheavenly Creatures. This is the start of their new part of the whole Amory Wars. That was the original ones. So in chronological order, it would be the Afterman albums, Year of the Black Rainbow, Second Stage, Turbine Blade, and Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3, and the Good Apollo albums, From Fear Through the Eyes of Madness, and No World for Tomorrow, which I think are the absolute best in the whole Amory Wars thing, and are freaking amazing. But the story, I believe, in those ones, obviously the Afterman albums are about Cyrus Amory discovering the keyworks and all that stuff. Only 5 key entities and stuff like that were within the keyworks. Then it goes into Year of the Black Rainbow, where it starts, you having all those other ones. I think Coheed and Cambria are actually characters in this. And then you have, I think, their kid, I believe, Claudio, named after Claudio Sanchez, the frontman of the band. And obviously, Second Stage, I believe one of them is I think some of those at this point in this one 9 planets end up breaking up for this one, and that leads into Vaxis Act 1, where the 9 planets that were separated from the Keyworks, which made the Keyworks now 69 planets. Nice. Which is nice, it's 69. But they all ended up becoming prison planets, and one of those planets is surrounded on this album, and it ended up blowing up, making it 8 at that point. But the music itself is prog rock, prog metal. Like I said, the ones that I absolutely love the most are these two, part 1 and part 2. These are at the forefront of what it means to be in a Coheed album. You know, when it's heavy and it has the rock, it has the metal stuff. But these two are, oh my god, they are fantastic. Easily the best. If I have to say the worst one, even though I haven't fully listened to it all yet, In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3. I personally love the other ones more than it. But hopefully once I start listening to it, maybe I might like it. Maybe it might go up a little bit more. But, I've only heard probably a few songs from this. Blood Red Summer I've heard probably. A Favorite House Atlantic from this. But, I think it's, the weakest one within the concept. But it's a great album. It's a good album. But yeah, this is, Amory Wars. All of them. Check them out. Check it out. And that's obviously in the best category. Another band that I couldn't show all of them. I won't show them here. I want to find other albums that I own that I love that are up on there. And, oh yes, I know one album that I could put on there. This is a singular album. This is from Iron Maiden. Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. At some point I was going to show this one. Concepts about, I believe, child who finds out he is the 7th son of the 7th son and all that. He has the power to heal. He's the chosen one and all that stuff. And all that stuff. Outside of Say the Evil That Men Do, which is just a standalone track, which made me wonder why was this one, because all the others are highlighted except for that one, and find out it has nothing to do with the concept. But Moonchild, all the way to Only the Good Die Young, are about the concept, and I absolutely love it. The last one with Adrian Smith for quite a while, until Brave New World in 1999. So that's 11 years. But yeah, great album, great story. Songs I love on here are Moonchild. I love Can I Play with Madness. I do love. I love The Evil That Men Do on here. I do love Infinite Dreams. It's a great one. The concept is it's a great album, and I absolutely love this album. Love it to death. If I can even find if there's anything else I have in here that are concept albums, I wouldn't count Rush, because that isn't fully a concept album. But I'm looking through some of these. Well, I think I might have to go and talk about an albums I don't have. Okay, yes, I probably have to. One album. Now getting into some albums I don't actually own that I do think are up there. Wasp, The Crimson Idol, from 1992. Concept album, obviously. It is a concept album, obviously. It's kind of the negative effects of being a rock star sometimes, Stories about a kid who left after his brother had passed away and went on to become a rock star. Successfully did try to call his parents again, and said, hey, it's your son, and all that. And they said, we don't have a son. And then at some point he ended up killing himself on stage. So that's kind of basically the negative effects of being a rock star. And all that. And yeah, Wasp, Lucky Lawless took that and ran with it. The music is fantastic. Bob Killick does the guitars. They have 2 drummers on there, which is at the same time. And Bob's performance on this is so damn good. Except for, I think, one song. I believe, forgot it was the 3rd track. I believe it had, I can't remember. Doug Aldrich, I think, was the other one. He was but he was uncredited. But Bob did the rest on guitars. The music is great, and they even redid it years later, and I think 2017 called Re-Idolized, which is something I will probably listen to at some point and see if it's worth on there. But that's one of the albums at some point I need to listen to. 2, this one is on the haven't listened to it all the way yet. But yeah, that is definitely one I would put on there. I think another one on here that I can find over on these CDs over here. If I can find it. Yes, there it is. I would try to put it on here. Well, actually, I won't put it on. It's not on here yet. I won't add it until I fully listen to it. I'll explain what it is hopefully soon. I'm trying to see if I have any others on here. Nope. But I'm trying to think of other albums that I would think of. I guess I could show these ones because they are pretty much tied together. But I do have other albums that I don't have the cases for, and that's the Ayreon Universe albums, which consists of The Final Experiment. No booklet on here, but Into the Electric Castle. There's Universal Migrator 1 and 2. Mike, they are on the haven't listened to them all the way yet. From what I listened to the DL one, it's probably for me middle of the road, but leaning more towards kind of a great album, but it's nothing compared to the ones I'm mentioning. But the other ones I was mentioning, Universal Migrator 1 and 2, the Human Equation, and then 01, 01, 1001, and then the other one is The Source, and I don't own that yet. But at some point I will own it. But yeah, these are all connected to an Ayreon universe. There is no specific order in which you can listen to, aside from listening to, say, The Source is first, and then 01, 01, 1001. The others are just in a random order, so just listen to them as they all, in the order that they came out. You know, Final Experiment, Into the Electric Castle, the Universal Migrator 1 and 2, and the Human Equation. But The Source and 0101, 1001, which is binary code for Y, by the way, are your beginners. These are the ones that start the whole album. I do have another Ayreon album in here that is a concept, but it has nothing to do with the Ayreon universe. And that is, there's 2 of them actually. There's Transitus, the most recent album, and then The Theory of Everything, which I own. I know there's actual fantasy revisited, which is another one that's not tied to the Ayreon universe. And obviously, I'm gonna have to put, I think the last one I might have to put on there, and both can share the same spot, which are the Rhapsody / Rhapsody of Fire 2 songs they got. They got the 3rd one going. That is, I think, the Crystal Sword and the Dark Secret Sagas. And they are each 5 albums each, which is 10, and they own, and those take up a majority of the discography outside of was the 8th Mountain, and then their most recent album, Glory for Salvation. And at some point, I'll talk about the albums. But my favorites from the Ayreon album, by the way, is Universal Migrator Part 2. I love the hell out of that. Features Bruce Dickinson on it, and I absolutely love that. But Rhapsody, power metal band. They've been around for a while, since '97. Or maybe later, but their first album was in '97. Then they're all putting on a new album this year called Glory for Salvation, which I will listen to at some point. which I will listen to. But yeah, those are easily in the 5 for now. Then we get to middle of the road concepts. Albums that, can be great, or they can be good or decent, or they're in the middle of the road or something like that. But they're middle of the road type of albums. Ones that I don't have the whole thing yet. And I'll pull these out. Is the Deathspell Omega's God, Devil, and Man trilogy, which consists of, I only have 3 of the 5. Includes C Monumentum, requires Circumspice, Kinus, Fos Itet Maledicte in Ignum Aeternum, Paracletus, and then finally Drought. And music is avant-garde style black metal. Kind of good. I was intrigued by these. The music itself is, the concept's pretty cool. God, Devil, and Man trilogy and all that stuff. It's pretty damn cool. At some point, I'm gonna get Kinus and Drought to round out this saga of albums. But for now, these are the only ones I have. The music is decent. It's good. It's at least better than another band who does the avant-garde stuff. It's at least these are tolerable to me. But it's right in the middle of the road type of concept album. But I got these just because morbid curiosity. Another one that I think is a middle of the road type of album and should not have been a double album is Nostradamus from Judas Priest. The music itself is great. It's themed around Nostradamus, and I like the first disc. I think the music is great, but I do think it should not have been double disc. Should not have been a double disc album. Should have at least been a one disc album. And yeah, other than that, love the music. I think the concept is cool. It's just that just because of it being a double album and it's long as hell. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think to myself, should not have been a double disc. It should have been just a one disc album, maybe be 80 minutes or something like that, or something close to 80 minutes. It should have been a double disc. You should have at least kept a few songs on there, and it would have worked. But double is just way too long. Love the first disc, but I don't even know if I have it in this case. Probably not. Oh yeah, here's some of the albums. Some of the albums are on in this case. But yes, here's. Yeah, I'll show it later when we get closer to the end or something like that. I guess I should mention some of the albums before I move on with the middle of the road type albums. I should mention albums that I haven't listened to all the way, but I definitely want to at some point, all the way through to get the whole concept and see if I love the concept. Operation Mindcrime 1 by Queensryche, I want to listen to all the way. Streets from Sabotage, at some point I do want to listen to that. What else was there? I said Re-Idolize from Wasp, the redoing of the Crimson Idol from 92, which I realize is almost 30 years now. It's about to be 30 years. But what else? Shoot. Yeah, obviously The Elder from Kiss, Magica from Dio. I think I have some albums in here. Oh, The Who's Tommy. That's one I need to listen to at some point. Why is this over be in this. Yeah, here's the Who's Tommy right here. I just noticed it in here amongst the D's and among the letter D. What else today? Yeah. Oh yeah, I could. Maybe I'll mention it shortly here near the end or something like that. There are albums I forgot that I could put into this. And won't maybe mention those. But what other albums that I haven't listened to all the way yet that are concept albums? Yes, I think I have Moody Blues. I believe is one of those that has done a concept album. If I can even find the certain album. Something like that. Here it is. In Search of the Lost Chord. That's one I need to listen to at some point. But another one, and this one might be a little bit controversial too, and I'll think I might have this be the final one in the middle before we get to the really terrible one, the worst ones, the worst concept albums. And that is Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Whew. I don't have the time to listen to that. Oh, it's a doozy to listen to. Like, my God, it's definitely, music is great, but it's a middle of the road album when it comes to it, and it's lengthy as hell. There isn't even a standout track on there for me because it's all one whole cohesive unit and stuff. But the music is great. The music is really good. I enjoyed it, but it's overblown. It's long. It's double album, double LP, and it's one that's oh boy, it's one that's definitely up there. They're middle of the road type albums, but yeah, it's easily up there. And I just remember there was another one, Tales from Topographic Ocean from Yes is one I need to listen to and figure out where I can put that at some point. At some point there will be a part 2 for this. But let's get into the worst ones. And my God, there's only probably 3 that come to mind. And I gotta mention Dream Theater. Obviously, Scenes from Memory. Metropolis Part 2 Scenes from Memory is obviously one of the best ones. It's easily up there in the best category or great category. But one that's in the worst, terrible category is obviously The Astonishing from Dream Theater as well. They made one of the best and one of the worst. It's when I reviewed it back, I think 2016 when it came out, I might have given it a 7 out of 10. It'd probably be lower now, 5.5, full 5, somewhere between a 4 and a 5, between 4 and a 6 out of 10. It's, oh God, it's not aged well. It's, to be nice, it's them trying to do prog rock, but failed miserably. It's no. And I'll give you clarification. There's another one, a prog rock band who did a concept album, and that could go in the best category, and that is Gandalf's Fist, The Clockwork Fable. That can go in the best category. But The Astonishing, I remember Brody telling me it was 2 hours of Disney music at the time, and he ain't lying. It's not good. It's not good at all. It's not good at all. It's not. No. It's like, thank God after that they bounced back and said and got back to what they know now. And they led that up to A View from the Top of the World, and yeah. Just stick to what you know, Dream Theater. Don't do something like this. I get you wanted to try and experiment and all that, but at the expense of sounding like it's Disney music. The concept is really cool. The story is cool, but the execution, the sound is just no. The other two are from Gorguts, entitled Colored Sands and Pilates Dust. And no, I mentioned I prefer Deathspell Omega. Just stay the fuck away from those two. They're just terrible. Terrible. Those are the only ones that I know are terrible. But there are others I am wanting to listen to at some point, and want to listen to all the Deer Hunter albums. Some Alice Cooper albums are concept albums, so I definitely want to listen to those at some point. But there's just a lot of albums I need to listen to, and hopefully maybe at some point a part 2 for it will happen. But Mike, is there any other concept albums that you could mention that maybe I should go and listen to? Or maybe I might have listened to it, but if there is something, or to anybody watching this, whether here on YouTube or on Utreon, because this is obviously going to be up on Utreon. Pink Floyd Final Cut. Obviously, I mentioned Pink Floyd, The Wall. Forgot to mention that one's a concept album. That's kind of middle of the road. Too long. It's kind of the same as like Genesis and Judas Priest. Way too long. Shouldn't have been a double album. I don't know if the Final Cut is a concept album. I'll put that on there. I might put that on there because I've never listened to any Frank Zappa albums ever, so that might be one I might listen to. What else? Any others that I haven't mentioned? The Joe's Garage. Okay, that's on the list as well. Haven't listened to it yet. Any more? But I know Frank Zappa might have had done some concept albums, so there might be more. I might have to look into some of those. I know. Still Life in My Arms, Your Hearse. That's a concept album. If that is, I dread the day I have to listen to that and put it somewhere. Probably in the worst category, though. It might even have its own category where it's just Code Red, stay the fuck away. Code Red category. It's not good. But if that is a concept album, I'll look into it. But who knows? No, I don't ever think Megadeth has ever done a concept album. I know none of the big four have ever done a concept album. They've never. I don't think Megadeth has ever done a concept album. Unless they have. And I'm not aware of it. But if they did, cool. And I might go and check it out. Who knows? What will the album be? I'm curious to know what the Megadeth album is that is a concept. Mike. Yeah, it's I don't think they've done a concept album before. I don't think they've ever done a concept album before, so maybe at some point they will. I'm guessing it's, but I don't think Megadeth has. I don't think they have. Would be cool. Make them the first. They would be the first big four band. Them or Anthrax or Metallica are the most likely ones that could do a concept album at some point. I would think they would do a concept album at some point. Why wouldn't you? It would be pretty cool. Trying to think who else. I mentioned Pain of Salvation. I didn't mention it, but Pain of Salvation, I've heard they do concept albums too, and that all their stuff is concept albums. So who knows? I might listen to them. I know I've listened to Panther, their most recent album. Thought it was good. That's kind of like, I think from listening to that, that's kind of a middle of the road album. But I need to listen to the rest of their albums in order to get a feel of what the concept there was. The concept albums they've done. Who else? Operation Mindcrime 2 at some point. I need to listen to that. Welcome to, obviously, with Alice Cooper, Welcome to My Nightmare. Apparently, Along Came with Spiders, a concept album. Welcome to My Nightmare 2 is another one. I'm trying to think of what else. Others have done concept albums. Dream Theater only did 2. I just talked about them. Shoot. I don't think Anthrax has ever done a concept album. Iron Maiden only did 1. Shoot. It just depends on what bands I can think of that have done. I've seen she talked about bands that have. Yeah, I think even a black metal. I think Karak Ongren. She said Karak Ongren, a black metal band, did a concept album. At some point, I might listen to that one. This is no fairy tale or something like that. You know, I might listen to that. I don't think he ever did. I don't think he did. Maybe he did. I don't know. I don't know if he did or not. But I might have to look into that. But I think I've had. I think I had 2 good topics. They lasted an hour at least, each. I think 30 minutes or something like that. But I'm trying to think what else. If I look in some of these and see if any of these are concept albums. I don't think the Rolling Stones has ever done a concept album. I don't know about the Beatles, unless Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band is a concept album. If it is, I might listen to it. No, not in their short discography. I could, because I could include Screaming for Vengeance, even though it isn't, because I'm seeing someone making a comic book or graphic novel for it, so I might count it as a concept album. But aside from that, it's a great freaking heavy metal album. It's cool that somebody's doing a goddamn apologies. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is. Sgt. Pepper is a concept album. Okay, yeah. I might listen to that one. But Judas Priest, Scream for Vengeance. I seen someone you posted about that someone did doing a graphic novel for it. So I'm like, I might count it as a concept album at this point. You never know. You never know. I might include it as a concept album. It would be pretty cool. But who knows? I might. But outside of that, I know Judas Priest did do a concept album, Nostradamus. But either way, they've done 2. That would be like, holy crap. And next year will be 40 years, I believe. 40? Yeah, 40. 40. It's been 40 years since Screaming for Vengeance. A great album. Oh, yeah, I have another one that I could show that is a kind of concept album, but I haven't fully listened to it yet. And that is Thick as a Brick. But only 2 tracks that are both 21 minutes long. But at some point, I will listen to that. I would listen to that. I would think Kansas. Has Kansas done a concept album? I think Kansas might have done a concept album. I don't know if they have. They might have been one of those that might have done a concept album at some point, but I don't know if they ever did. If they did, cool. Might look into it. If they didn't, oh well. Their music is still great, but I do think. All right, thanks for letting me know. But yeah, I'm just trying to think other albums from if Kansas ever did a concept album. Pink Floyd, we know. I've done a concept album. Rush, even though later in their career, the final album they did is a concept album. People always say 2112 is. It technically isn't. Oh, Whitesnake? What album? They might have. I would think they might have. Maybe early on in their career, maybe. anything, if anything, maybe anything pre 1987 or 1984. They might have done some concept albums, but I don't know. Ted Nugent, yep. I do think I've seen Ted Nugent has done some. Fuck, who else? I mentioned the Who, Tommy. Amon Amarth did one, but I kind of think that is a concept album. Okay, maybe. We might need Xavier to say something about that if it is or not. But who else? Amon Amarth I mentioned. Oh yeah, Jan's Viking is a concept album from Amon Amarth. Don't really care about it. It's middle of the road. That's more leaning towards closer to terrible, but it's still decent. Still got some great songs on there, but you know, it is a concept album from them. I think. Oh yeah, Bathory. I need to listen to the Nordland albums. I think those might be concept albums. I would think. Ozzy never did a concept album. Goddamn knows. Trying to think who else has done concept albums. I think maybe at some point later on I would try to think of albums from bands that do have concept albums. But I think the ones that I've set in this video are the ones that are on there for the categories, the great to the middle of the road to the terrible or good start to albums that we can put on there at some point. So I might even list some more albums at some point that are great concept albums or middle of the road concept albums or terrible, but those are the ones that I have at the moment that are all great, middle of the road and best. And obviously this gonna probably conclude this live stream. Thank y'all for coming. To Mike, thank you for coming. Maybe this Friday I might do another one, and hopefully that might be Metallica. But hopefully, I can't say if it will be or not, but who knows. To those that are wondering, yeah, I had to take that down because I wasn't really quite satisfied with it. So hopefully either Friday or maybe next Tuesday, I will do a Metallica video discography review live stream. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it for me here. I thank y'all for watching. If you like this video, click the like button or the dislike button. Comment below what your thoughts are. If you're new to the channel, either click the subscribe button or follow us on Patreon. Obviously, all the videos, all these live streams will end up going up on there. So, yeah, thank y'all for watching. This has been episode 3 of Damage Incorporated and Friends. I will see y'all later. And as always, keep things metal.